Rune 30 of the Kalevala. This is a Librivox recording. All Librivox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit librivox.org. The Kalevala, compiled by Elias Lönnrot, translated by John Martin Crawford. Rune 30, the Frost-fiend. Lemminkainen, reckless minstrel, handsome hero Kaukomieli, hastens as the dawn is breaking, at the dawning of the morning, to the resting place of vessels, to the harbor of the island, finds the vessels sorely weeping, hears the wailing of the rigging, and the ships intone this chorus: "Must we wretched lie forever in the harbor of this island, here to dry and fall in pieces? Ahti wars no more in Northland, wars no more for 60 summers, even should he thirst for silver, should he wish the gold of battle." Lemminkainen struck his vessels with his gloves adorned with copper, and addressed the ships as follows: "More no more, my ships of fir wood, strong and hardy is your rigging, to the wars ye soon may hasten, hasten to the seas of battle. Warriors may swarm your cabins ere tomorrow's morn has risen." Then the reckless Lemminkainen hastened to his aged mother, spake to her the words that follow: "Weep no longer, faithful mother, do not sorrow for thy hero, should he leave for scenes of battle, for the hostile fields of Pohja. Sweet revenge has fired my spirit, and my soul is well determined to avenge the shameful insult that the warriors of Northland gave to thee, defenseless woman." To restrain him seeks his mother, warns her son again of danger: "Do not go, my son beloved, to the wars of Sariola, there the jaws of death await thee, fell destruction lies before thee." Lemminkainen, little heeding, still determined, speaks as follows: "Where may I secure a swordsman worthy of my race of heroes to assist me in the combat? Often I have heard of Tiara, heard of Kura of the islands, this one I will take to help me, magic hero of the broadsword. He will aid me in the combat, will protect me from destruction." Then he wandered to the islands, on the way to Tiara's hamlet, these the words that Ahti utters, as he nears the ancient dwellings: "Dearest friend, my noble Tiara, my beloved hero brother, dost thou other times remember, when we fought and bled together on the battlefields of Northland? There was not an island village where there were not 7 mansions, in each mansion 7 heroes, and not one of all these foemen whom we did not slay with broadswords, victims of our skill and valor. Near the window sat the father, whittling out a javelin handle, near the threshold sat the mother, skimming cream and making butter. Near the portal stood the brother, working on a sleigh of birchwood, near the bridge pass were the sisters, washing out their varied garments." Spake the father from the window, from the threshold spake the mother, from the portal spake the brother, and the sisters from the bridge pass: "Tiara has no time for combat, and his broadsword cannot battle. Tiara is but late a bridegroom, still unveiled his bride awaits him." Near the hearth was Tiara lying, lying by the fire was Kura. Hastily one foot was shoeing, while the other lay in waiting. From the hook he takes his girdle, buckles it around his body. Takes a javelin from its resting, not the largest nor the smallest, buckles on his mighty scabbard, dons his heavy mail of copper. On each javelin pranced the charger, wolves were howling from his helmet, on the rings the bears were growling. Tiara poised his mighty javelin, launched the spear upon its errand, hurled the shaft across the pasture, to the border of the forest, o'er the clay fields of Pohjola, o'er the green and fragrant meadows, through the distant hills of Northland. Then great Tiara touched his javelin to the mighty spear of Ahti, pledged his aid to Lemminkainen and his combatant and comrade. Thereupon wild Kaukomieli pushed his boat upon the waters, like the serpent through the heather, like the creeping of the adder, sails the boat away to Pohja, o'er the seas of Sariola. Quick the wicked hostess Louhi sends the black frost of the heavens to the waters of Pohjola, o'er the far extending sea plains, gave the black frost these directions: "Much loved Frost, my son and hero, whom thy mother has instructed, hasten whither I may send thee, go wherever I command thee. Freeze the vessel of this hero, Lemminkainen's bark of magic, on the broad back of the ocean, on the far extending waters. Freeze the wizard in his vessel, freeze to ice the wicked Ahti, that he never more may wander, never waken while thou livest, or at least till I shall free him, wake him from his icy slumber." Frost, the son of wicked parents, hero son of evil manners, hastens off to freeze the ocean, goes to fasten down the floodgates, goes to still the ocean currents. as he hastens on his journey, takes the leaves from all the forests, strips the meadows of their verdure, robs the flowers of their color. When his journey he had ended, gained the border of the ocean, gained the seashore curved and endless. On the first night of his visit freezes he the lakes and rivers, freezes too the shore of ocean, freezes not the ocean billows, does not check the ocean currents. On the sea a finch is resting, bird of song upon the waters, but his feet are not yet frozen, neither is his head endangered. When the second night frost lingered, he began to grow in importance. He became a fierce intruder, fearless grew in his invasions, freezes everything before him, sends the fiercest cold of Northland, turns to ice the boundless waters. Ever thicker, thicker, thicker grew the ice on sea and ocean, ever deeper, deeper, deeper fell the snow on field and forest, froze the hero's ship of beauty, cold and lifeless bark of Ahti. Sought to freeze wild Lemminkainen, freeze him lifeless as his vessel, asked the minstrel for his lifeblood, for his ears and feet and fingers. Then the hero Lemminkainen angry grew and filled with magic, hurled the black frost to the fire god, threw him to the fiery furnace, held him in his forge of iron, then addressed the frost as follows. Frost, thou evil son of Northland, dire and only son of winter, let my members not be stiffened, neither ears nor feet nor fingers, neither let my head be frozen. Thou hast other things to feed on, many other heads to stiffen, leave in peace the flesh of heroes, let this minstrel pass in safety, freeze the swamps, the lakes and rivers, fens and forests, hills and valleys, let the cold stones grow still colder, freeze the willows in the waters, let the aspens freeze and suffer, let the bark peel from the birch trees, let the pines burst on the mountains, let this hero pass in safety, do not let his locks be stiffened. If all these prove insufficient, feed on other worthy matters. Let the hot stones freeze asunder, let the flaming rocks be frozen, freeze the fiery blocks of iron, freeze to ice the iron mountains, stiffen well the mighty Wuoksi, let Imatra freeze to silence. Freeze the sacred stream and whirlpool, let their boiling billows stiffen, o'er thine origin I'll sing thee, tell thy lineage of evil. Well I know thine evil nature, know thine origin and power, whence thou camest, where thou goest, know thine ancestry of evil. Thou wert born upon the aspen, wert conceived upon the billows, near the borders of Pohjola, in the courts of dismal Northland. Sin begotten was thy father, and thy mother was dishonor, while in infancy who fed thee, while thy mother could not nurse thee? Surely thou wert fed by adders, nursed by foul and slimy serpents, north winds rocked thee into slumber, cradled thee in roughest weather, in the worst of willow marshes, in the springs forever flowing, evil born and evil nurtured, grew to be an evil genius, evil was thy mind and spirit, and the infant still was nameless, till the name of Frost was given to the progeny of evil. Then the young lad lived in hedges, dwelt among the weeds and willows, lived in springs and days of summer, on the borders of the marshes, tore the lindens in the winter, stormed among the glens and forests, raged among the sacred birch trees, rattled in the alder branches, froze the trees, the shoots, the grasses, evened all the plains and prairies, ate the leaves within the northlands, made the stalks drop down their blossoms, peeled the bark on weeds and willows. Thou hast grown to large proportions, hast become too tall and mighty. Dost thou labor to benumb me? Dost thou wish mine ears and fingers? Or my feet wouldst thou deprive me? Do not strive to freeze this hero in his anguish and misfortune. In my stockings I shall kindle fire to drive thee from my presence. In my shoes lay flaming faggots, coals of fire in every garment. Heated sandstones in my rigging thus will hold thee at a distance. Then thine evil form I'll banish to the farthest Northland borders. When thy journey is completed, when thy home is reached in safety, freeze the cauldrons in the castle, freeze the coal upon the hearthstone. In the dough the hands of women, on its mother's lap the infant, freeze the colt beside its mother. If thou shouldst not heed this order, I shall banish thee still farther, to the carbon piles of Hisi, to the chimney hearth of Lempo. Hurl thee to his fiery furnace, lay thee on the iron anvil, that thy body may be hammered with the sledges of the blacksmith, may be pounded into atoms twixt the anvil and the hammer. If thou shouldst not heed this order, shouldst not leave me to my freedom, know I still another kingdom, know another spot of resting. I shall drive thee to the summer, lead thy tongue to warmer climates, there a prisoner to suffer, never to obtain thy freedom, till thy spirit I deliver, till I go myself and free thee. Wicked Frost, the son of winter, saw the magic bird of evil hovering above his spirit. Straightway prayed for Ahti's mercy, these the words the Frost-fiend uttered. Let us now agree together, neither one to harm the other, never in the course of ages, never while the moonlight glimmers on the snow-capped hills of Northland. If thou hearest that I bring thee coal to freeze thy feet and fingers, hurl me to the fiery furnace, hammer me upon the anvil of the blacksmith Ilmarinen. Lead my tongue to warmer climates, banish me to lands of summer, there a prisoner to suffer, never more to gain my freedom. Thereupon wild Lemminkainen left his vessel in the ocean, frozen in the ice of Northland, left his warlike boat forever, started on his cheerless journey to the borders of Pohjola, and the mighty Tierra followed, in the tracks of his companion. On the ice they journeyed northward, briskly walked upon the ice plain, walked one day and then a second, till the closing of the third day, when the hunger land approached them, when appeared Starvation Island. Here the hardy Lemminkainen hastened forward to the castle, this the hero's prayer and question: "Is there food within the castle, fish or fowl within its larders, to refresh us on our journey, mighty heroes, cold and weary?" When the hero Lemminkainen found no food within the castle, neither fish, nor fowl, nor bacon, thus he cursed it and departed. "May the fire destroy these chambers, may the waters flood this dwelling, wash it to the seas of Mana." Then they hastened onward, hastened on through field and forest, over byways long untrodden, over unknown paths and snowfields. Here the hardy Lemminkainen, reckless hero Kaukomieli, pulled the soft wool from the ledges, gathered lichens from the tree trunks, wove them into magic stockings, wove them into shoes and mittens, on the settles of the hoarfrost, in the stinging cold of Northland. Then he sought to find some pathway that would guide their wayward footsteps, and the hero spake as follows: "O thou Tierra, friend beloved, shall we reach our destination, wandering for days together through these Northland fields and forests?" Kura thus replies to Ahti: "We, alas, have come for vengeance, come for blood and retribution, to the battlefields of Northland, to the dismal Sariola. Here to leave our souls and bodies, here to starve and freeze and perish, in the dreariest of places, in this sun-forsaken country. Never shall we gain the knowledge, never learn it, never tell it, which the pathway that can guide us to the forest beds to suffer, to the Pohja plains to perish, in the homeland of the ravens, fitting food for crows and eagles. Often do the Northland vultures hither come to feed their fledglings, hither bring the birds of heaven, bits of flesh and blood of heroes. Often do the beaks of ravens tear the flesh of kindred corpses, often do the eagle's talons carry bones and trembling vitals, such as ours, to feed their nestlings in their rocky homes and ledges. Oh, my mother can but wonder, never can divine the answer, where her reckless son is roaming, where her hero's blood is flowing. Whether in the swamps and lowlands, whether in the heat of battle, or upon the waves of the ocean, or upon the hop-filled mountains, or along some forest byway, nothing can her mind discover of the frailest of her heroes, only think that he has perished. Thus the hoary-headed mother weeps and murmurs in her chambers: "Where is now my son beloved in the kingdom of Manala? Sow thy crops, thou dread Tuoni, harrow well the fields of Kalma." Now the bow receives its respite from the fingers of my Tierra. Bow and arrow now are useless, now the merry birds can fatten in the fields and fens and forests. Bears may live in dens of freedom, on the fields may sport the elk herds. Spake the reckless Lemminkainen: "Thus it is, mine aged mother, thou that gavest me existence. Thou hast reared thy broods of chickens, hatched and reared thy flights of white swans. All of them the winds have scattered, or the evil Lempo frightened. One flew hither and one thither, and a third one lost forever. Think thou of our former pleasures, of our better days together, when I wandered like the flowers, like the berry in the meadows. Many saw my form majestic, many thought me well proportioned. Now is not as then with Ahti, into evil days have fallen, since I see but storms and darkness. Then my eyes beheld but sunshine, then we did not weep and murmur, did not fill our hearts with sorrow, when the maids in joy were singing, when the virgins twined their tresses. Then the women joined in joyance, whether brides were happy wedded, whether bridegrooms chose discreetly, whether they were wise or unwise. But we must not grow disheartened, let the island maidens cheer us, here we are not yet enchanted, not bewitched by magic singing, on the paths not left to perish, sink and perish on our journey. Full of youth we should not suffer, strong we should not die unworthy, whom the wizards have enchanted, have bewitched with songs of magic. Sorcerers may charm and conquer, bury them within their dungeons, hide them spellbound in their cabins. Let the wizards charm each other, and bewitch their magic offspring, bring their tribes to fell destruction. Never did my gray-haired father bow submission to a wizard, offer worship to magicians. These the words my father uttered, these the thoughts his son advances. Guard us thou, O great creator, shield us thou, O God of mercy. With thine arms of grace protect us, help us with thy strength and wisdom. Guide the minds of all thy heroes, keep aright the thoughts of women. Keep the old from speaking evil, keep the young from sin and folly. Be to us a help forever, be our guardian and father, that our children may not wander from the ways of their creator, from the path that God has given. Then the hero Lemminkainen made from cares the fleetest racers, sable racers from his sorrows. Reins he made from days of evil, from his sacred pains made saddles. To the saddle quickly springing, galloped he away from trouble to his dear and aged mother. And his comrade, faithful Tiara, galloped to his island dwelling. Now departs wild Lemminkainen, brave and reckless Kaukomieli. From these ancient songs and legends, only guides his faithful Kura to his waiting bride and kindred, while these lays and incantations shall be turned to other heroes. End of Rune 30. Recording by Kyle Robb.